Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the Medium by Design. I've got the sunglasses on because I was late. I got up after the sun rose. Still quiet on the streets, but a little more action as far as people going in their cars and starting their day. So today's inspiration comes from two women who have passed. The first one is the mother of one of my top clients in design. She died earlier in this COVID thing. She was 79. She would have been 80 in November. And she was a doll. I mean, really. I meet a lot of dolls. I really do. I meet a lot of really good people. It's incredible when you think about it. You know, I met that man on the street the other day, and he was a little lonely because he lost his wife, but he was a good soul, talking to me out of the blue. And Jan I met, she used to live in the neighborhood that I'm in, and she got tired of the helicopters, the police helicopters, and actions going on there. So her daughter, knowing she was getting a little older, she bought this house, and I was there when she bought it. I was part of the whole thing. I got to witness the whole thing and give my input, which was funny at the time, because I said to the daughter, I don't think you should get this house. Yeah, it's going to cost you $150,000 to fix this thing up. And I nicknamed the house the 3-generational house because it was the woman that's in my age group, and then the mom who I met, who was in my parents' age group, and then the son, who was a teenager, autistic, amazing, really, really smart. And I got to them through her childhood, the woman in my generation, her childhood best friend. And that's the spa house on house.com. I nickname all the houses. So anyway, Jan was really delightful through that renovation, and it was 2 stages of renovation, actually two different years. And last year it was time for some bathrooms, so we did the 2 ladies master bath suites, and it was just an amazing project. It was just, I just had a great time. And every time I would talk about Jan and ask her what she wanted, she would say, oh, don't worry about me. I'm not going to be here that long. Just design it for my daughter, because she'll probably be moving downstairs into my suite when I'm gone. This is what she said. So, of course, when you're in your 70s, you probably do consider, how much longer you have. But, when you look at things in hindsight, you wonder, do people really know what's coming intuitively? Do they just know it? So, even though she told us just to do whatever we wanted, I still geared the whole thing towards her. And you can see the shower. I think it's the photo I have on my YouTube page, the Medium by Design. I think that's the photo. A photo of her bathroom up there now. So I got a call from the daughter a couple of months ago, and she said, I just want to tell you that my mom passed. And, it was sad. And what was interesting, though, is she had gotten her hair done. The story is interesting, the details, right? She had gotten her hair done, and the daughter said, Mom, I don't think you should really be going to have your hair done. This is not the time to be around people doing that. And the mother simply said, oh, by the way, I'm passing the sheep property. You can't see them, though, because here, let me show you. This is where I was the other day. And because the land is being watered, you can hear the sheep, though. So this is where I met the man the other day in the other video. I don't know if you can hear those sheep, but she's getting ready to feed them, so they're very excited. And this is the normal day of normal people, right? Still really quiet. So anyway, the daughter warned the mom about getting her hair done, and she said, I have things I want to do for myself. And that was it. She went and got her hair done, and that's how she got, if we focus only on the physical world, which I don't, but in this case I will. And that's how she got this virus. And she wound up with pneumonia, and she was gone in 4 days. I mean, that's how fast it was. And Kelly, the daughter, had told me some cute things that happened that had us laughing, even though the mother was gone. She was still funny right up until the end. She was still witty and charming and beautiful. So, give me a second. So anyway, when she wound up getting pneumonia, because it really hit her in the lungs really hard, the daughter said, I better call somebody, because she can't pick her up, if anything happens. So the paramedics come, and of course they're young and really handsome guys, and they come in to help the mom, and she was like already ready to pass almost before they got there. Well, they got there, and this 79-year-old, she perked right up, and she was talking to them, and she got lively, and the daughter stood there watching her in amazement, like she was just about ready to die, 2 minutes before you got here. And I'm on a little bit loud street, so bear with me. Not for long. And anyway, I'm going to show you something else. So, you're going to love this. This is another property with animals. Look at this. Look at how beautiful. This is what we do every day. Hey, how are you? Look at this. Look at them. You know why everybody's out? The animals are out. Because it's only 84 degrees, which is unheard of. So they're all there, being friendly, enjoying the day, enjoying the morning. There's another beautiful property in this area. So anyway, back to the mom. So she's there, and the paramedics are there, and she's flirting with these. Morning. She's actually flirting while she's in a crisis. So the daughter is telling me the story, and you can't help but crack up. It's like, what happened to this woman? She wanted to look her best for these guys, and she wanted to talk to them. So she had a very, very shining moment, I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it a shining moment before she actually did start going downhill, and then she passed. So I just thought I'd honor her. Just another great soul. Great soul. Oh, this is cute. Look at this. The sheep. Look at them. And the one is really perky. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, he wants to play. I haven't come this way in a while, so we get to enjoy the animals. So the second person that I want to honor, I got a request recently, and the man who requested it, he's going to see this video. A woman of 101 just passed the end of July. She would have been 102 on August 14th, which would have been cool. And, of course, I don't know. When people request a writing from someone. I don't know who they are. So I just sit in my kitchen and I invite the person in. And I ask Jesus to bless her and bring her in and, protect her. And in her first few sentences, she thanks me for that. She heard me before I even said her name, or before she spoke. I should say before she spoke. So anyway, I start writing from this woman. And she says a few key words that are new to me. Like, I have not written from somebody like this before. The one thing that to note here, she was born in 1918, a year of a pandemic, and she dies in a year of pandemic. And I took note of that, and I said it in the introduction. I said, it's very interesting the year you came in and the year you're going out. So she said, yes, I was born into a world with a pandemic, and I left during a pandemic. And she says, isn't that a great curtain call? So curtain call caught my attention. So that was number one. Then later on, she talks about how much we talk today. It was a little bit of a criticism about people just wanting to talk all the time. And she said there were times when she couldn't wait to be alone. Now, she is speaking to my heart, because there are days that I just can't deal with anybody. And I may get to that on this video too. The changes we're going through personally, and not being able to deal with things we would have dealt with years ago. But for 2020, we just can't stomach it. And maybe that gets back to the nervous system warnings on that other video, that you have to be careful what you expose yourself to. But it's more than that. You can't even take certain things, which is your spirit telling you, don't get involved with that. Don't be part of that. So it's just interesting, just something to note if you're observing your own behavior and your own changes. There are things you can't deal with anymore, and that's fine. This is life, and then you shun those things, or you walk away, or you let them go, and you don't put any of your time into it. The sun is going to hit us. I don't know if that's going to be a problem. So, anyway, I continue with this writing from this woman, and then she says about the talking. And this is all going to wrap up. You're going to see how amazing this is. And the third thing she says is, when you live a long life as I did, you get to see the repeat of certain things in history. And it leaves a scar or a imprint on you, and you change your perception, and things are no longer important. And this is good for all of us. There are things that happen that at the time you think are really, really important. And then she lived to 101. She saw multiple wars. She reflected on all this stuff, that she lived through many wars and seeing the same thing over again. And she was a wise woman. And she knew that in some of the historic events, like the JFK assassination, that left a mark on her. And it made her question, who's in charge? Very interesting. She didn't dwell on it, but she just made a point of that. So, okay, so I finished the writing, and the guy that requested the writing, he's going to give it as a gift to the daughter, because it's her anniversary this last weekend. So how cool is that? I mean, just the thought of him doing this for somebody else. Blessing, right? It's cool. They might not have any experience with this kind of thing. Well, he sends me the daughter's written biography of her mother and all the things the mother did, right? So I got some confirmation about this lady. Number one, she was on the stage for years. She did performances. So that's the curtain call reference, right? Then later years, she lost her hearing. And it's kind of ironic that she was tired of listening to everybody talking. And this is true. If you get really fed up with something and you don't want, you declare you don't want to experience something, your body might just honor you and take your hearing away because you don't want it, you don't need it. So be careful what you wish for. So anyway, that was the two women I wanted to honor today, and share some personal experience with these that I had with these women and through the writings. And I did write from the other mom, and I sent that to the daughter. Now here's another thing that's happening this year that makes no logical sense. And I did say their names, but you don't know who they are. I sent that writing because she's a really good client of mine, and I loved her mother. I sent her the writing in an email. I followed it up with two phone calls and a text, and I did not get any response. What do you do with that? What do you do with no response from somebody? And I talked about this, about that little computer I wanted, right? And the guy, we never got it together. Well, let me reiterate. And then I called her best friend, and I left a message with her, and she was a great client too. So in 2020, being really aware and waking up to things, every time somebody behaves in a certain way or doesn't behave in a certain way, we have to let it go. I don't know why those two women didn't respond to me, and I can't even care. I reached out, I was trying to be a caring person, and nothing. So remember these things, because down the road, if somebody requests something that didn't respond at this time, I might not do anything for them. I might not have to. Remember, everything's a choice, your free will choice. You can't just call me when you need something. We have relationships here going on. Just text, hey, I had a heart attack. I can't talk. Okay. Just a little heads up, not asking for anything. I'm not asking to go to lunch. You don't have time, whatever. So it's just something to loosen us up, and in honoring where everybody is, because everybody's on their own planet now and in their own universe and in their own reality, and demanding they be heard. It's a big thing this year. Everybody's expressing, and that's fine. It's part of our evolution. People are expressing at all different levels. But, I thought that was kind of odd. Good people that I really loved. But maybe they're gone too. You just don't know. Maybe my soul is done with that connection. I don't know. So, that's why you have to be loose this year. 2020, year of the loose. Right? And the other thing that I wanted to just briefly mention, if you're staying in the house all these months, please go out, get some air. Take your mask off and just breathe a little bit. When you're not around anybody. Of course, social distancing, I'm all for it, that's fine. Not saying anything against precaution, but geez. I'm walking by myself. I saw a couple of souls, but nobody was within 30 feet of me. You don't expect me to wear a mask. Come on, let's use our critical thinking. There are times the thing is not necessary. Some of this stuff is just ludicrous. In the parking lot of the store, again, you're not even in the store yet, right? You're not strolling with anybody in the parking lot. You're by yourself. And the reason I mention that is the first time somebody did say something to me about the mask. And I had it's a fabric thing that I wear around my neck. And then when I go in, I pull it up, right? And somebody said something to me. I wasn't even in the store yet. And she was polite about it. It wasn't a confrontation. It could have been a confrontation if I had my Italian New Jersey out. But, I looked at her and I'm like, I got it right here. It's going on. Don't worry. I'm going to put it on. Get out of the panic, people. Get out of the fear. And then the last thing I'll say to consider, because we have a big election coming up, and I know a lot of you are really, really firm on your beliefs. But I heard something that was very disturbing, and to me, you got to watch these statements that people who want to win an election, and I don't know why it was said, and I'm not going to say any names, I don't like really name calling. But the phrase that I heard was, I'd shut it down. I'd shut the economy down. I'd shut everything down. Really? You still want people to stay home? Now, don't get me wrong, if you don't have to work and you don't have to do anything and you're blessed, that's great. I am so thrilled there's so many blessed people that can step out, and step out, meaning step out of this reality and stay home and protect themselves or whatever. That's fine. It's fine. No problem there. But what about the rest of us that have to keep things going? The people that are running the cities and the towns and keeping people's creativity going and keeping their livelihood going. Think about the bigger picture here. Take the precautions, but keep moving forward. Don't have this scared mentality of, oh no, we have to stay doing nothing. Well, let me tell you something. There are millions of people in this country that are doing a lot, and I'm one of them. And you know me, I want to stay home. I like to stay home. Well, I can't. I got to help this lady with her kitchen. And it's incredible. Wait till you see those videos. It's an incredible experience I had with these two. It's a mother and daughter again. I just thought of that. How cool is that? I got another mother and daughter team. They don't live together, though. So how beautiful is that? So that was the food for thought for today. And thanks for watching The Medium by Design. And again, I've got a PayPal button. If you think you got something out of it and you want to make a donation, that's great. I'm not begging. I'm just open to anything that can benefit my life and support me to keep going. So I hope you feel supported to keep going. And have a really blessed day. I'll be back soon.